Want a sword? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael. We made these videos because you're the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. You just need that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband, Evan Carmichael. Mentor me, Evan. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Match your action with your ambitions.
Your actions have to map to your ambitions. In a one-off situation, you can always be grateful for what happened. When I broke my neck in Colorado, I'm grateful for the opportunity. The opportunity to learn, to push myself, to get better, but did it map to my ambitions, right? Whenever you're stuck in a one-off situation, you can, yes, always default to gratitude, but if you get the choice, this is the difference between living an intentional versus a reactionary life. If you're just grateful for everything that happens to you and see it as a journey, yes, and you've learned, yes, great, but is it the journey that you want to be on? It's a journey that will get you to where you want to go. Because if the person who wants to hit the town ends up on the farm, maybe he's not happy. Maybe that's not his ambitions. Now, you might say that actually served him. That is something that he should have gone down, right? Every road leads to somewhere. But is it the road that you want to go down? Do your actions map to your ambitions? I think it's really important. The guy who climbed the tree, amazing, right? If his goal was to be there fastest, to take the shortest path, that's the path he should take. And yes, he was right and the others were wrong. He was right for him because he wanted to take the shortest path. Do your actions map to your ambitions? You have goals. Look at your calendar. Look at how you're scheduling your time. Look at where you're spending time, what you're doing it on. Will the actions that you're taking lead you to accomplish the goals that you're trying to go after? If yes, amazing. If not, switch things up. I think too often people have hopes and dreams and desires and ambitions, but then their schedule doesn't match up. You say you want to do this, but when I look at your calendar, it doesn't show me that you're doing it. If you want to have a YouTube channel, show me in your calendar where you're making YouTube videos. For too many people, it's never. You're just not doing it, ever. So then it just becomes a hope, a dream, a wish, a someday. Someday's not a day of the week, right? You got to put it in your calendar. Make sure your actions map to your ambitions.
Rule number 2. Hate mediocrity.
To make a real change, you have to hate your life. Good is the enemy of great. If you're good, you're good. It would be nice to have more, but you're not willing to do the crazy, scary, painful things that require to get great because you're good. You need to realize, if only for a few moments, that you hate your life. You hate it. You're capable of more, way more. This is nowhere near maxing out. This is nowhere near the max of your capabilities. You should hate that. You need to hate that. And then you make a powerful decision to change. So if you've ever been to a Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within event, the 3.5-day event, his most powerful exercise that he does is his Dickens exercise. And what he has you do is write down your limiting beliefs. He has you write down what are the things that you do that is holding you back, the belief system you have that is holding you back, the things that you know you need to act on that you're not doing. Why is it that you're not doing it, and what is it holding you back from accomplishing? And that's a great thought exercise, but unless it's emotional, you're not going to take action, right? You know, fixing that would be nice, it'd be good, it'd be nice, right? Yes, but you still like your life. It's the problem. You don't hate your life. You're not desperate enough to make that happen. You can think, well, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next year. No, you need to hate your life right now, or that thing will never happen. And so what Tony has you do is you take those 3 limiting beliefs and then you project forward, and it takes you down, I think, 5 years and 10 years and 20 years into the future. So now you imagine your life 5 years into the future. That thing that you're afraid to do, that thing that you have in your head, that limiting belief of yours, you haven't fixed it yet. What's the result? What happens? What do you look like in 5 years that you still haven't done the thing? What happens to you in 5 years? And then in 10 years, and then in 20 years? It takes you deeper into the pain, basically, each time that your life is terrible. Right? You never fix this thing. You never chase that opportunity. You never go after the thing you know you're capable of. And he puts so much pain on you through this exercise. It lasts, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. He puts so much pain on you that then it forces you to want to make the change right now. And then he'll snap you back. The idea isn't let's stay negative forever, right? As entrepreneurs, we don't want to do that. I don't want to be negative forever. It's using negativity and negative forces in a really acute sense. in these little pockets, these little moments to force you forward, to force you into action. Because when you hate something, you're gonna change it. When you've hated something in your life, it's an immediate change. I need to make that change immediately. But again, when you're good, you're good. You don't do anything about it. And so whatever it is that you want out of life, you have to be desperate to go and chase it down. You have to. And the only way to do that is to hate your current situation.
If you want to have more motivation and confidence, please check out the link in the description below.
If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
Successful people take responsibility for where they are in life.
Publishers do a little bit of work to help you. They try to line up a little bit of media and some of their contacts, but don't expect the publishers to do a lot. These days, it's really up to the author.
Rule number 3, act on your ideas.
Chasing down your dream is scary. Chances are nobody around you has done anything close to what you want to do, and they don't understand you. They think you're crazy. Well, you know what? Here's a news flash. You are crazy. And you need to embrace your crazy ideas right now, or you'll regret for the rest of your life that you never took action. So I'm a big believer that you need to trust your crazy ideas, that when an idea comes to you, you have to go off and do it. You have to teach yourself that you are a genius, therefore you come up with genius ideas, and you need to birth them into existence. Because it came to you, therefore it's good. At least that's what I tell myself. And here's a quick example. I started a new channel last week featuring IG lives of different entrepreneurs. One of the things that frustrated me was that people, your heroes, people that I love, that I look up to, that you look up to, are going live on Instagram every day, and the lives disappear in 24 hours. It's just a function of Instagram. Is after 24 hours, the lives go away. Nobody can see them anymore. And I was frustrated for myself and for you, and that all of this great wisdom was being lost. But I was also frustrated for them, for the thought leaders, for the experts, for your heroes, that they're creating this amazing content to help people, and then it just goes away. And so I wanted to help protect their legacy, preserve their wisdom, and also have something for you guys to be able to go back to again and again and again, access to thought leaders and experts and heroes. And so I thought, what if I just started a channel with their IG lives? And I came up with the idea on a Friday, and then on Friday we launched. On Friday, I started with my own live, and we had a live of one other person, and I put them up, and we launched a channel, set up the email address, set up the banners, set up the channel art, set up the playlist, set up the rules, and then started training my team on how to do it. And so now we've got, I don't know how many videos, a bunch of videos that have been put up since we've launched a channel, and that needs to be the speed at which you start to move. That you get ideas and you don't sit on them. How many ideas have you had that you've been sitting on for weeks, for months, for years? When I travel and I meet different entrepreneurs, it saddens me so much to see so many people have had a dream for a decade plus and still haven't done anything with it. The biggest problem is you're just not acting on it. And so you have to protect your dream. You have to find a spot that makes you come alive, makes you believe that you can do it. But protecting your dream doesn't mean doing nothing on your dream, right? You have to act, even when the people around you don't understand you, think you're crazy, because again, you are nuts. It's amazing, and you have to embrace your crazy ideas. So how do you do it? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is use the fear of regret. This is what used to motivate me a lot in my early days as an entrepreneur. I used to use the fear of regret, because whatever you wanna do, there is definitely a healthy dose of fear. There should be. If you're doing something big you've never done before, you're afraid of, there should be fear, right? You've never done it before, it's bigger than you should be afraid of it. And that fear prevents us from taking action. So what I would do is trick myself to think about, hey, when I am 95 years old, looking back on this moment, this is the moment. I would tell myself, this decision right now, this one right here, this is the one that will change the whole game for me. This decision will be the thing that blows up my entire career, that has the big impact that I want to have. And if I don't do this thing right now, then I'm gonna hate my life forever. That's what I would tell myself. And I would use that pain, I would create a bigger pain for myself so that that small pain of potentially failing wasn't as big. The pain is real, the fear is real. I just give myself a bigger fear, which was hating my life for the next 5 decades. Right? And so that would force me into action. And so use the fear of regret. Think about how long you've been thinking about this idea, this dream, this thing that you want to create, and you haven't done it yet. What happens if next year you're in the same spot, and in 5 years you're in the same spot, and 10 years you're in the same spot, and just pump all of this short-term pressure on yourself. It's not good to live in that 24/7, but in these acute moments, to get you to do the thing that you need to do, to just start the ball rolling, it can be very beneficial to use the fear of regret, because that's coming. It's very real. You could be the 95-year-old person looking back in your life, knowing that you could have done something special and you didn't because you were afraid. And so number one is use the fear of regret. Number two is tell yourself that you do difficult things. You do difficult things. This is what I use much more now, is that I do difficult things. When I'm afraid to do something, as soon as I hear myself saying, I'm afraid, it's scary, it's difficult, I remind myself, you do difficult things. Evan Carmichael does difficult things. That's literally the conversation I'm having inside my head. As soon as I can catch myself playing small on something I want to do, because the language coming back to myself is that's difficult, that's hard, that's scary, then just because I caught myself saying that, I have to go off and do it. And so to teach yourself that you do difficult things, and then to show yourself that you go off and do difficult things, whether it works out or not, whether you get the result or not, the fact that you're willing to get up and do difficult things every day, I think is one of the most important mindset shifts that you can gift to yourself so you can start accomplishing your big goals. And step number three is remember your big why, little why. So the big why is your big mission. What are you trying to do? The big thing that hopefully you wake up to and say, this is what I want to go and make in the world, right? I want to solve the world's biggest problem. People don't believe in themselves enough. I want to help 1 billion entrepreneurs. It's a big why. It's a big why that's never going to happen, right? You need to have a mission that's so big that it's never going to happen. If you know it can happen, then it's not big enough. And yet you wake up every day trying to make it happen. And so having that big purpose is meaningful, has to happen. I cover it in my book, Built to Serve, but you have to have it. Sometimes though, the big why is too big. And so I like the little why, which is just you helped one person. And so I'd look to my comments, or I'd look to somebody who saw me on stage and sent me an email, right? Just proof that one person, I'm holding 2 fingers up, that one person was impacted by your message, that you helped one person. You may not be anywhere close to hitting your big why, the big goal, the big mission, but you helped one person. And knowing that you helped that one person, that what you made, that what you did was meaningful to them and had an impact on their life, can be just enough fuel to get you through the day building more momentum. Because sometimes that big why is too big, and you have to remind yourself of the little why so that you feel that the work that you do matters, is meaningful, and has an impact on other people's lives. Big why, little why.
Rule number 4, build momentum.
If you want to be thinking 2 to 3 years ahead and still have success today, then you need to make sure that you have existing momentum right now. Entrepreneurs, we're dreamers. We love thinking about what we can make 2 to 3 years down the line. It's an easy place for us to live. The biggest problem isn't thinking 2 to 3 years ahead, it's right now. It's that you're lacking momentum right now in your business. You're a genius. The only thing you're missing is momentum. So me personally, I've actually tried to go and do the opposite of this advice most of the time. It's so easy to live 2 to 3 years out that I want to now focus on mission. What am I trying to accomplish? The big thing that's never going to happen, right? I want to solve the world's biggest problem. I don't think people believe in themselves enough, and that's what I wake up every day trying to help solve, but it will never happen. And then what am I doing right now? As opposed to getting lost in what I can do in 2 to 3 years, because again, I think it's so easy just to live there and then not bring it back to what am I doing today to build momentum. So I've really tried to teach myself that as soon as I get an idea for something, to start building momentum around it, not to get stuck in planning mode, right? It's easy to get stuck in planning mode. Here's where I want the plan to be in 2 to 3 years. You have to do. Jeff Bezos can think about where he wants to be in 2 to 3 years because he has an army of people doing work right now, building momentum on what's currently happening. If you're a solo entrepreneur and you're just living in the future and nothing's happening right now, you're never going to build that future. So as soon as you get an idea, at least for me, I've been trying to teach myself, I take immediate action towards it. It could be something really big. It could be something like when I wanted to build a house, I just decided I'm going to build a house, and then a year later I had my house built, right? From finding a dead property that was empty to excavating to building a 5,000 square foot modern home. Within a year, I had my home built from just having the concept and the idea, right? Teach yourself that as soon as you get an idea, you don't just sit, you don't just plan, you don't just tinker, you get out into the world and start doing.
And rule number 5, 5, the last one before our very special bonus clip, unlock your talent.
You have Michael Jordan level talent at something, but instead of being world class at that thing, you settled for being just above average at something that you should not be doing. Albert Einstein once said, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will believe its whole life that it is stupid. That's most people's problems. You are a fish, and you're trying to climb a tree instead of going and being great at swimming. This is the exact problem that I am on a mission to solve. So I recently had a young entrepreneur come to one of my Toronto Q&A meetups that are free that I host every week. And he said, Evan, I have a problem. I'm trying to decide between what my parents want me to be, which is an architect, and what I feel a yearning towards, which is being a musician. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to decide. I don't know how I'm going to be a success as a musician. I don't know how it's going to work out. And my parents want me to be an architect, and there's this clearly defined path for how to do it. And he's afraid. And I think that's so many people. There's this safe, perfect path that has been designed that people have done forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Or there's this new, crazy, messy, unrealistic, unsafe, unsure path, which is following your passion, being an entrepreneur, and trying to figure out where you're supposed to go. Here's the thing. If you only go down that safe path, if you only take that job, if you only listen to your parents or other people and you do what they want you to do, you're always going to be unhappy. You're always going to know that there was this thing inside you that you could have done, that you didn't take action on, and you hate it. It's never been easier to actually be yourself and build a business and have success being uniquely you. Right? This was not open to your parents and definitely not your grandparents. The ability to be an entrepreneur on the side, making money using your phone is something that your grandparents don't understand. It's totally wild. And so you are a unique individual, right? You are, I am, we all are. You have unique interests, personality traits, belief systems. You're unique. You need to do something unique. If you are unique, you need to do something unique. If you're stuck doing the same thing that somebody else wants you to do, you're never going to be happy. Now, there may be some alignment. You may not absolutely hate the job that you're at, but you know you're capable of more. You're Michael Jordan. You are the Michael Jordan of something. You're a genius, an absolute bona fide genius at something. This is why I think it's the world's greatest problem. This is why I do what I do every single day and making this content and videos for you, because I want to unlock people, hopefully more than one at a time, but even if it's just one person who watches this video and gets unlocked, I'm pumped. Because I think if everybody is off doing the thing that they are a genius at, man, I want to live in that world.
Now I have a very special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know what your single biggest takeaway from this video. And what are you gonna do this week to take action on it? So let me know in the comment below so we're gonna celebrate with you.
I hate spending money until I'm making money. I think this is how so many people end up going broke. You take all the money you have, pour it into your business, and because you don't know what you're doing yet, you fail and end up losing everything. Taking that one shot may mean you're in debt for the rest of your life. I want you to take a smarter path. So I look at my YouTube channel as an example. I've started this channel 10 years ago. It's crazy, just over 10 years ago. What a crazy ride. But when I started it, I had nothing, and I didn't want to spend my money on hiring a bunch of people and investing into gear and equipment and everything else. And so I started by just asking a friend of mine, Mark, who's been a long time friend of the channel, if he would come and film me. He had a video production company at the time. He said, Mark, can you come and film me for one episode? And he did, and he came in and he filmed me. And it was a lot of work and a lot of editing afterwards. But he did it because he was a buddy of mine. But he wouldn't do every video like that. And so I had to find other ways. I had to borrow equipment from my friends. And when I couldn't borrow their camera anymore, I used I went to pull from my cell phone, but this didn't exist 10 years ago. I didn't have this capability 10 years ago. I used whatever phone I had, whatever camera I had, these tiny little things. I don't know if you remember the flip cam that I would just prop up on a desk in front of me, or on a bookcase, and it would tilt, and so the video itself would be a little bit looking like it was moving because it wasn't fully stable sitting there on the shelf. I had sold my business, I had made some money, I had another successful business with my website, I had 8 people on my team, but I don't want to spend money till I'm making money. I don't think that's a healthy practice. Maybe I'm a little too risk averse. Maybe I care too much about protecting my capital. I don't know. There are some people who go in and they take out a huge loan, invest everything they have, and sometimes they hit. Sometimes you hit. That's the appeal. That's the attraction. Sometimes it's gonna hit, but most of the time it's not.
If you want to learn more of becoming the superhero that you need to be, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe.
Evan has a few absolutely amazing knowledge bombs, and I ramble on and on.
I'm going to teach you how to drink 3 liters of water.